What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel with more of that good wrestling news, covering all those latest updates and rumors as we head into WrestleMania. Today we're taking a look at the early construction of the WrestleMania stage, which match could be main eventing night 1, WWE keeping a lookout for certain AEW superstars, and more wrestling reports, timestamp down in the description, so check it out. Anyways, make sure to hit those notifications, and for even more wrestling content, a lot of WWE 2K, make sure to check out the second channel. And now let's go ahead and dive into it. Kicking it off with the latest regarding WrestleMania and two of the matches that are going to be going down. As we got to see on this past week of SmackDown, we're going to be getting Apollo Crews versus the WWE Intercontinental Champion Big E in a Nigerian drum match. And there has been a lot of questions in regards to what exactly this is going to be. Apollo Crews noted during the segment that this is a nation duo created by his ancestors as a way to make things right. He said that there will be no rules and no limitations, just beatings so loud that it sounds like the beating of drums. And based on all of the reports, this is essentially going to be a no disqualification match / street fight, which will make sense based on everything that Big E and Apollo Crews has been going through over the last couple of weeks and even months, them attacking each other in the backstage, even a golf cart coming into play, and so on. There's also speculation that there's probably going to be a bunch of drums on the outside of the ring to literally represent exactly what the match stipulation says. I hope WWE doesn't add any weird effect to it. Regardless, I'm excited to see these two go at it. Into more WrestleMania 37 news, Wrestling Inc. went on to specify which could be the 5 teams that are going to be participating on night 1 to determine the night 2 challengers for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler. So as we discussed, WWE plans to have that multi-team match on night 1 with a combination of multiple teams in the women's division. And following this week's SmackDown, it looks like the teams will be the following: Natalya and Tamina, the Riot Squad, Lana and Naomi, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, with Carmella and Billie Kay. The team of Carmella and Billie Kay hasn't been confirmed just yet, they simply teased it, so it should be interesting to see if that changes. Again, the winner will go on to challenge Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler the night after for the titles. And I'm here still wondering, is WWE really gonna leave Bayley out of the WrestleMania match card? Are they actually gonna be doing a women's battle royal? As of me recording this, they haven't confirmed that, but I mean, if they do, you would think that Bayley will be the winner of it, or maybe Charlotte, because we don't know if she's gonna be at the event either. And this is a big shocker. A lot of people are surprised that these two top talents in the women's division are being left out, and we haven't gotten any explanation from WWE up to why. Sure, we know that Charlotte had to step away due to early confusion of her possibly being pregnant, but we learned 2 weeks ago that that wasn't the case. So these two top superstars missing from the match card is by far one of the most confusing and weird things right now. The excitement for WrestleMania continues, and of course, one of the biggest curiosity as we head into the event is how the stage is going to be looking. And one thing we know is that the construction inside the Raymond James Stadium is already well on the way. And you could kind of say that the first quote-unquote leaked footage, or I guess the first preview of the stage, is finally here. This is coming from videographer Action Jax FPV, showing us an overview of the stadium. And part of the stage appears to be the pirate ship, as you guys can see, which of course will go in theme with the stadium and will put a heavy focus on it. So instead of them just having the pirate ship hang out by the side, they are building an extra one to be center stage. So you know Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, and a lot of other ones are probably going to want to jump off of it. You can also see the ring laid out, but right now everything is just early construction. And I'm really excited to see how this WrestleMania 37 stage ends up looking. WrestleMania 36 was of course in the Performance Center, so there was nothing special to it, except for the big WrestleMania sign hanging by the side. And then WrestleMania 35 was extremely boring because all that it was a big LED screen, which which was cool, but when you look at other WrestleMania stages, such as WrestleMania 33, it was a big downgrade. This year, it's already feeling like WWE is gonna try a little bit harder for it and to impress us with it. Sticking with WrestleMania, we don't know which match is going to be main eventing night 1 on Saturday, as the question remains whether it will be Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley or Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. And one of the big reasons for us wondering that is because, of course, that's going to be the first time that there will be a live audience, a live reaction to a match for over a year. So that first match almost going to feel like it's the actual main event. And Drew McIntyre kind of feel the same way, hinting at the fact that he will not mind opening the show, as according to him, the main event might not be the best position on this year's match card, and he realizes that. In an interview when speaking with Wrestling News, Drew McIntyre discussed the significance of this year's opening match and what it will mean for him. He indicated the following: "I will be happening, opening or closing the show this year so unique in the sense that the last match, every match at WrestleMania is a main event. Let's be realistic, if you're on WrestleMania, you're in the main event, but when you're fighting for the championship, generally it's cool to close the show. This is such a unique WrestleMania without having the fans there for an entire year. That first reaction is gonna be so good, it's going to be so special. So that is why I say if I finish the last match, that's phenomenal, that's fantastic, that's tradition. But if I'm in the opening match, to me that's also just as big, because if you get to walk out in that first match and get the crowd full of energy and all of those reactions that we have been keeping inside for a year, that's going to be special too. So either way, I'm happy." End quote. As I mentioned before, there have been a lot of debates on which match should close out the show on Saturday night, with Drew McIntyre teasing all of this in multiple interviews. Now, it really does feel like WWE is gonna put that WWE Championship on the line on the first match, and I am okay with it, because in return it also gives the SmackDown Women's Championship a closing match, a main event match at this year's WrestleMania. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. How do you think WWE should go about in booking this first night? Because it's not an understatement, clearly that first match is going to be huge. WWE even decided to move the Andre the Giant Memorial to the SmackDown WrestleMania special event because of that, because they don't want to have any matches on the kickoff, because they want to save that first big reaction. Onto some other news, and following it up with the recent breaking news of Chris Jericho appearing on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast on the WWE Network. It looks like this is all a big plan for Vince McMahon, as he might be wanting Chris Jericho back by the time that his AEW contract is over. The Wrestling Observer Radio went on to indicate how Chris Jericho's current AEW deal ends towards the end of 2022, and WWE might offer him a lot of money to come back. And this could be one of those plays where Vince McMahon is trying to welcome Chris Jericho back into it, because there is no doubt that once Chris Jericho AEW contract comes up, he is going to try to use both of the company to get the most money as possible. It is a business move. Chris Jericho is not getting younger, and at the end of the day, the money is certainly gonna talk. The Observer also went on to indicate that because others AEW wrestlers contracts will be coming to an end during that same year, by the end of 2022, WWE is gonna be looking to grab some of the younger talent, because of course now AEW introduced so many new stars to mainstream and to the pro wrestling world, many of which WWE is gonna offer big money to get. AEW obviously wants to keep everyone they can, but they might not be able to match every WWE offer. So again, a lot of those talents which contracts are gonna be coming into an end by the end of next year are gonna have some very interesting discussion, including Chris Jericho. Anyways guys, that is all the latest that I got for you. If you enjoyed, found it informative, don't forget to elbow drop it and hit those notifications. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.